Hey there, since resigning from VIPKid and taking the plunge to 100% go fully independent with my students, I've been able to double my income, and I want to tell you how I did it and give you some tips if you are making that transition from platform to independence. Hello, my name is Tim from OnlineTeacherDude.com, and I'm thrilled that you're here. I help teachers build their teaching business online, and yeah, we're in for a good video here where I talk about my income, a doubling really from working as a VIPKid teacher to working as an independent teacher, all online, teaching my students privately. Hey, and if you need some support with that and you're looking for like a community and the sort of how to A to Z, give me the go-to steps and the things that I need to do and make decisions about, then check out my launch course, Going Solo. It might be a course that you can purchase and go through at this moment, or check it out and see if I'm running it live where you can join one of my live classes. And I would strongly recommend joining the Facebook group Going Solo Independent Teaching. With over 3,000 members, there's lots of support, answers to questions, and general guidance from other teachers like you wanting to do this thing. So let's get into it. When I was a VIPKid teacher, I was at the higher end of the pay scale. I was actually making $8.50 per class, so I was at $17 an hour, and I made the transition to short notice teaching in 2018, so I made that extra $4 per class. So with the bonuses, I was generally around $25 an hour with those $2 incentive per class, but when they changed the pay scale in 2000, whatever it was, 2021, who knows what year it is now, I ended up taking a slight pay cut, and I was sitting at around $22.50 to $23 depending on how many classes I taught, and then you move up those tiers. Now, when VIPKid had to make that decision to transition into the global platform and get rid of the teaching that was already going on with foreign teachers teaching Chinese students in mainland China, a lot of teachers, maybe you included, needed to make those decisions about whether you were going to continue teaching your students or just get into another career or another type of teaching online. And because I had already been teaching some students privately for a while, I had some things figured out, not perfectly by any means, but I had the experience and the confidence to move forward with my students. So that's what I started to do. I took a few students off of the platform who were ready and who were already kind of asking about that, especially as August rolled around and that disaster happened where we didn't know how long we were going to be continuing as VIPKid teachers as we knew it. So then I took a few students off, I tested things out, and I made sure that everything was going to work out, and then slowly gathered more students through referrals, through a little bit of marketing on WeChat, and now I have 15 students. Now, of those 15 students, 12 of them are paying me at my higher rate. 3 of them, the one that I started with, are paying me at a slightly lower rate. But let's get into exactly what that rate is and how I was able to charge that, and some tips for you if you're not really confident to go with the higher end of things. And looking at other teachers, I'm certainly not the highest paid independent teacher out there. Some are charging more, and you really do need to find what's comfortable for you and an acceptable rate of pay that's going to make you want to do this, considering the effort and time you put into it outside of teaching, as well as the expenses you have as an independent teacher now. So for my 3 students that are at the lower tier of my pay, I charge $40 per hour or $20 per class. With my higher students, I'm charging $45 an hour or $22.50 per class. So my pay really has doubled from what it was with VIPKid into what I'm doing right now as an independent teacher. So the first thing I had to do is the most difficult thing, which is to take the plunge and make the decision. Make the decisions on all aspects of my business. Now, have things changed since I started? Absolutely. Have I changed platforms? Yes. Have I changed curriculums? Yes. Is it okay? Yes. You just need to get started. You need to make the simple decisions in the beginning so that you can get everything going so that you can launch with your parents. That's really important that you not get caught up and stuck with really big decisions that seem insurmountable, but just make the decision, look at what other teachers are doing, look at what's out there, and just go with it, because you can change, and I'm testimony to that. You can make changes, you can change curriculums if you need to, or change your price, or whatever it is. It's okay. It really will be okay. And as long as you have the right approach with your parents, keep communication open, and are a good teacher, and put your best effort into your classes, they will be okay with the changes that you make. Number 2, I gave my founding students a special price. And this is a price that was lower than what they were paying with VIPKid. So, you don't always have to go lower than what your platform was charging the parents if you know what that is. Sometimes it's difficult to actually figure out what they actually paid for a class. But I felt like $20 per hour was a comfortable price for these students who were on a platform who wanted to trust me and go with me one-on-one on their own. Number 3 is I asked those parents to recommend me to other parents. Now, I had other VIPKid parents who were asking me about private classes. Not all of them took me up on the price, and that's completely fine. When you're running a business, not everyone's going to want to buy your product. If you own a restaurant, not everyone's going to want to eat your food. If you own a store, not everyone's going to want to buy your clothes. So you have to understand that you're not going to please everybody, and that's okay. As long as you can get a couple in the door, trusting you and getting you started, then you can scale and grow from there. So I asked some parents to recommend, and they were happy to do that. And as they referred other parents, I was also able to offer them incentives, which is something I'm going to talk about in a second as well. Number 4 is I offered packages of classes. So if a parent only wanted to buy a smaller group of classes, they were able to at a higher price. And if they wanted to buy a larger group of classes, then they were able to at a slightly discounted price. Now, what I ended up doing was arriving at a package of 20 classes, which worked for me, which worked for the parents, and I found success with that number. I found that with a larger group of classes, like 40, it was a little bit harder to get parents on board with that, and they felt more comfortable buying a package of 20. So I think that's really good. And if they're only going to buy 10 classes, you're going to be invoicing more often, you're going to be communicating with them more often, so that's more time and effort. So it's definitely justified to offer a higher price for those classes. So think about offering maybe 2 packages, maybe a package of 10 and a package of 25. And if you just want to offer like one package and keep it really simple, then I have found that 20 is a really good number to arrive at. All right, and finally, number 5 is to offer incentives. I alluded to that, I think, in number 2. It's a great idea to show the benefit to working with you as an independent teacher as opposed to a company. And you can offer incentives that are unique to how you do things. Obviously, companies that are backed by venture capital and have lots of investment and are big businesses are able to offer a lot more than we are as an independent teacher. But there are certainly ways and things that you can do to offer incentives to make it appealing to purchase classes at a higher price. So we talked about the referral system. I think offering a free class if a parent refers another parent is a great idea. Everyone loves something for free. It's not a huge take of your time or energy and effort to offer one class to be able to get another student on board that's going to be a student for the long term, paying you over the course of several months and maybe even longer. Another thing that I personally offer is homework. So with the curriculum that I use, I'm able to offer different types of homework from student workbooks that they're able to do. And I just send the book to the parent. I let them know that I am not marking the homework. So I also send the answer key that lets them check their work if they want to. But I tell them that it's extra practice. It's not required, but parents love having that, especially those that may only have 1 to 2 classes with you a week. I think it's a really good idea to offer something that they can do in the meantime because there is such a large gap of time between your classes. Another thing you can do depending on the curriculum that you use is to offer some pre-class viewing. I know that some of these web-based curriculums that are out there offer a link to parents to be able to view the class in advance. This is really great and something that you can also offer after the class for them to practice what they learned with you in class. Another option is recorded classes. I know that a platform like ClassIn, if you're with the Pro version, will allow you to record the classes, store it on their cloud so that the parents can view the class afterwards. But I preface all this by saying you are the boss. You're in charge. If this is not something that you're comfortable doing, then don't do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Just be clear from the beginning what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do. Feedback. This is something that a lot of teachers didn't like about the platforms, having to offer feedback after every class. I don't do this, but this is something that you can add to your list of incentives and let them know that you will offer a few sentence feedback after the class to let the parents know how the child did and things that they can work on. So if you're wanting to do that, that's another thing you could add to the list of incentives to encourage parents to purchase your package of classes. So there you have it. Those are the incentives that I can sort of think of off the top of my head that would help you to charge a higher rate and to charge what you're worth. If you can think of other incentives, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'm sure that we'd all love to see them. Here's another tip and something that I'm doing right now if you're watching this video for the Chinese New Year holiday. I am offering group classes. I've taken most of my students who are wanting to enroll in these, and I've grouped them into 3 groups. And what I'm doing is offering a current events / discussion / conversation class around current events. And by doing this in a group situation, you're able to offer a lower price for the class because there's more students, but by multiplying that price by 4, you're actually making more money. So with my classes of 4 students, I'm offering the class at $15 for 45 minutes. So, a great deal for the parent, and also times that by 4, that's $60 for 45 minutes. So if you're looking at that as an hour rate, that's something like $80 for the whole hour. Now, I'm not making $80 for the hour, I'm making $60 for the 45 minutes, but it's still a great rate, and I'm making more and they're getting value as well. So if you are watching this before one of the holidays, either Chinese New Year or summer, think about offering something different from what you're offering with your one-on-one ESL, maybe slide-based classes or curriculum-based classes, and offer something that you're not able to do in those classes. Most of the time, parents love the opportunity for their children to practice discussion, debate, answering questions, and talking with their peers in English, and this is something you can do in a group class, so give it a go if you are able to. Finally, I want to leave you with this. What we're doing is different. It's not what the platforms did, and a lot of times we try to replicate what those platforms did, but we are offering something unique and individualized, and I think it's really important that when you are laying out your prices, you accompany that price with what you offer. Go through some of those things that I just talked about if you want to offer those, but also make sure that the parents understand that if they're hesitant about the price, that you are offering an individualized lesson, you're able to pull in different resources to teach their child, you're able to offer one-on-one communication with the parent, which is something that didn't really happen that often with the platforms because they had learning partners and sort of folks that acted as an in-between between the teacher and the company. But you're able to offer all these things, and you're able to offer your expertise and your skills as a teacher to really narrow in on what that child needs to progress in their English. Don't be scared about offering a higher price. I think it is well worth your time, effort, and energy to be able to double, if not even go higher than that, with your private students. Parents are willing to pay, they paid with the companies, and they're willing to pay you if you have the right approach to your teaching. Hey, if you want to ask me any questions about this and you just want to bounce some ideas off of me, then you're welcome to add me on Instagram at OnlineTeacherDude. I love talking to teachers who are wanting to go independent, and I would love to connect with you there. Of course, you can also email me. That email address is in the description of the video, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Don't forget to check out this link, onlineteacherdude.com/launch, if you're interested in my course for platform teachers who want to go independent and join the Facebook community going solo. As always, make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Looking at my YouTube statistics, about 90% of you have not clicked the subscribe button, so go ahead and do that. Until next time, happy teaching, and I will see you in my next video. You can also join my lives in the chat section on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you next time. Peace. Hey, don't go anywhere just yet. These videos might be interesting to watch for you, and if you haven't subscribed, you can do it right here with one click. Also, in the video description, I recommend different products and services and ways that you can work with me further, so don't forget, look in the video description below.